In this example, we are going to factor the quadratic that we have here by splitting the middle term and factoring by grouping. So to be able to split the middle term, we need to know how to split it. So we need to find two numbers that multiply to give us AC and add to give us B. So AC here is 6 is A. It's the coefficient on the x squared, and c is the negative 20, which is the constant term. So 6 times negative 20 is negative 120. So a times c is negative 120. So we need to look at two numbers that multiply to give us negative 120 that then add to give us positive 19. Now that positive in front of the 19 is telling me right away that of the two numbers that give us the negative 120, one of them has to be negative, one has to be positive, and it's the smaller of the two numbers that has to be negative, so that when you add them together, you get the positive 19 you're looking for. So as I'm looking at these numbers, we'll just start here at the very beginning. Negative 1 times 120, well, those definitely don't add to give you 19. Far too far apart. And you know, it takes us a bit to get to where we need to go. So negative 2 times 60 is still too far apart. Negative 3 times 40, still too far apart. We're not there where the sum of the two ends up being 19 yet. So we'll keep going. We have negative 4 times 30, and we're getting closer. That sum there would be in the 20s, so we're getting there. But here, we finally get there when we realize we have negative 5 times 24. Those two numbers are going to work because when we take negative 5 plus 24, we add them, we do get the 19, and that is the B that you're looking for. This is your B, where we've paid attention to the fact that it's positive 19. That sign is the same. And so now we know the two numbers that we're looking for. The pair of numbers is negative 5 and positive 24. Now that pair of numbers tells me not the factorization, because this is not a leading coefficient of 1, but it does tell me how to split the middle term. So we have that first term, 6x squared, but now instead of having plus 19x, we're going to have two terms. We're going to have minus 5x plus 24x. So the negative 5 and the positive 24 tell us how to split 19 apart into the sum of two things. And then we've got our final term, negative 20. Okay, so now we have taken something that had three terms and made it into a four-term polynomial here. And we are going to factor this by grouping the terms together here. So we group the first two, and then we group the second two. And by grouping, I mean I'm going to focus first on the first two terms and pull out the greatest common factor. So as far as the coefficients go, 6 and 5 don't have a common factor, but we do have the x squared and the x having the common factor of x. So I can pull x out, and that leaves me with this time 6x minus 5. So moving to the second set of two terms, we have 24x minus 20. Now this time the 24 and the 20 do have a common factor, and so we can pull out the common factor of 4 from both of those. Now we've always got options here as far as signs go. Do we need to pull out a positive 4 or do we need to pull out a negative 4? Well, see, our goal here is for the part that's in parentheses, the 6x minus 5, to appear in the second set of two terms too when we pull out the greatest common factor. So it's positive 4 that we pull out just so that the signs do match here and give us positive 6x minus 5 as the part that's in parentheses. And we need this to match because as far as the factoring goes, our next step is to take the two terms that are separated by this plus sign right there, and we need to pull out the greatest common factor of those terms, and that will be the part that's in parentheses that matches. That's why it needs to match. So we pull out that part in parentheses, the 6x minus 5, from the two terms, leaving us with the x plus 4. So that would be the next factor. And so that would be our factorization of the quadratic we began with.